In Luke 21, we read, "Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from the anxieties of daily life." Well, my friends, it's Advent. Too often, my first response might be to make a list of things that need to be done in the weeks ahead to prepare for Christmas. It's easy to feel the anxiety about getting it all done. Or we can pause and reflect on entering into Advent this year as a season with meaning. I know it will be a better season if I can readjust my expectations in a way that will bring me to Christmas Day with a closer relationship with God and a deeper connectivity to the Nativity. The readings for this first Sunday of Advent, this first day of the liturgical year, begin with a hope and a reassurance. It starts, "The days are coming when I will fulfill the promise I made." That reading from Jeremiah was originally meant to encourage a people who were devastated by war, whose country was overrun, and whose leaders had been taken away by the enemy. The Israelites were unsure of who they were and what they would become as a people. Jeremiah compares them to a forest that's been cut down, leaving no safety, no resources. And to those people, God promises that out of that barren land, a tiny shoot, a small sign of life, will appear on a lifeless stump. "I will raise up for David a just shoot, and he shall do what is right and just in the land." God goes on to promise them not only that Judah will one day be safe, but that Jerusalem would be secure. To those living back then, the promise would have seemed outsized and almost impossible, yet offering hope. God's promise of safety, security, and love is for me and for you too. The readings in the final weeks of Ordinary Time and the first weeks of Advent are meant to have us ponder the life we have today. How can I live that life? Am I wandering in my own desert, aimless and confused? Or do I really believe in my heart that God is here in my everyday life with me, helping me to be safe and secure? In Luke's Gospel, Jesus, in his deep familiarity with the end time readings of the Old Testament, offers a vision of a world out of order. The sun and the moon no longer in alignment. The roar of the sea and waves terrify people. These readings don't frighten me, but they do grab my attention, as if God is begging me not to be overwhelmed with what is out of order, but to pay attention to the promise here and now. Jesus talks about the anxieties of daily life and cautions us not to become drowsy from them. I know I have experienced anxiety in my life over friends, my health, and work. We can fret about everything from terrorism to our to-do list. But Jesus is offering us hope, consolation, and his endless love. He tells me to pay attention at all times and to pray for strength. What he really wants us to know is how very deeply each one of us is loved and cherished by him. I find this very consoling. Relying on that love releases my fierce grip on control of my life. We can stop each morning and set aside our to-do list and pray. We can ask God to help us feel how deeply we are loved and to help us let go of things that really don't matter. I move to turn to the words from today's first letter to the Thessalonians. May the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another, so as to strengthen your hearts. Amen. It's Advent.